So question A, the diagram shows points A, B, and C. Lying on the line 2y is equal to x plus 4. The point A lies on the y-axis and AB is equal to BC. The line from D, which is 10 and negative 3, to B is perpendicular to AC. We have to find the coordinates of B and C. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do, of course, is write it out. So ABC is 2y, which equal to x plus 4. We can make y the subject of the formula here. They told us that A intersects the y-axis, so we can find that. And AB is equal to BC, and D is 10, negative 3, and it's perpendicular to AC. And we have to find B. And C, of course. Okay, so we divide the equation by 2, so y is equal to half x plus 2. M, which is the gradient of AC, is half, which is a coefficient in front of x. So the gradient of anything that's perpendicular to it would have to be negative 2, because gradient 1 times gradient 2, m1 times m2 is equal to negative 1. So if you place that in your calculator, negative 2 times half is equal to negative 1, so that is correct. Now we have to find the equation of BD. Now I'm just going to draw a little graph. It's not accurate, but it's just a sketch. It always helps me out. I'm more of a visual learner. So we have A, B, and C. And you have D here, which is at the coordinates 10, negative 3. So trying to find BD, we know M. We're going to use y is equal to mx plus c. We know m is negative 2. We have to find what c is. We're given D, so we can substitute that in the equation. And in D, negative 3 is y and 10 is x, right? So we'll just substitute these values. So negative 3 is equal to negative 2 times 10 plus c. And we'll just solve this to find c. Negative 2 times 10 is negative 20. And negative 20 moved to the other side, so c is equal to 17. Alright, so we found the equation. So y is equal to negative 2x plus 17. Okay, so now we have to find the point where they intersect. They told us that AB is equal to BC, so that means B is the midpoint between A and C, right? But anyways, negative 2x plus 17 is equal to half x plus 2. We're going to equal it to each other. And negative 2x plus 17, you're going to move everything to one side. Minus half x minus 2 is equal to 0. So negative 2.5x plus 15 is equal to 0. Move 15 to the other side, becomes negative 15, and divide that by negative 2.5, and that will give you an answer of x being 6. So we found x of b, but we also need to find y. So what we're going to do now is simply substitute this value that we got. So y is equal to half x plus 2. Instead of the x, you're going to place 6. So y is equal to half times 6 plus 2, so y is equal to 5. Or you can place it in the other equation, which is exactly the same, where I used y here is y is equal to negative 2x plus 17. So b is 6, 5. And we found that. And what we're going to do to find c is something called vector movement. And so we do have A, we have B, and now we're finding C, and we know that AB is equal to BC. But before that, we need to find A, of course. Now we are told that A intersects the y-axis, so that means x is equal to 0, right? And then y is equal to half times 0 plus 2. Anything times 0 is 0 automatically, right? So then y is equal to 2. So then the coordinates of A is 0, 2. So now we have A and we have B. So in order to use the vector movement, what we're going to do is look at the x-axis and the y-axis of each. The x-axis for A is 0 and for B is 6. And in order to get there, you'd have to add 6 to the x-axis, and the y-axis on A is 2 and that on B is 5. In order to get there, you'd have to add 3, right? And that's what we're going to do for C as well, since they're equal. So we're going to do 6 plus 6, which is 12, and 5 plus 3, which is 8, and that is it. We got the coordinates of C using the vector movement, and that is a total of 7 marks, you guys. Congratulations, we're done with this question. Bye!